Welcome to part 2 of our self-assessment and correction series. Now that you've tried some of the movement assessments from episode 1, you may have found some priorities. Now, priorities are simply areas of opportunity that need to be addressed in the first few months of your new fitness journey. In part 1, we showed you how to assess ankle mobility, for example. In today's episode, I'll be taking Dee through a few simple mobility pieces that you can do to help you with that very thing. You may have found that your stability and control in your shoulder blades is low. Well, we'll be demonstrating some techniques for that too, and many others. So keep watching and don't forget to like and comment and subscribe to the channel. We're entering in the technique portion of this video now where we're going to show you a few things that you can start doing right now, today, at home. Maybe some of them you might need a little to get onto online or go to a local store and buy a couple pieces of equipment. But for the most part, you can start today. So the first one, we're going to deal with ankle mobility here. Yeah, so we have a lacrosse ball, and you can get them in any sports store. We're gonna roll the bottom of the foot. Now the tissues on the bottom of the foot, there's mostly fascia down there, there's tendons, there's some not very much muscle, but it can also contract and it gets really tight and it can stop you from being able to bring that foot up. And there's a disorder that people get where they have really painful pain on the bottom of their foot called plantar fasciitis. And for my clients, this is a really good reliever of that too. So if you have pain on the bottom of your foot, you can try this. If it's unbearable pain, obviously go to a doctor, but this is a great technique. So where you start is you want to break your foot into 3 lines. There's the inside part, the middle part, and the outer part. And it's only from the balls of the toes down to the top of the heel. So you don't need to roll out your toes, and you don't want to necessarily roll out your heel because you can cause some damage in there. So what you do is you start, let's say, on the outside chain, right below that ball of that toe, and you're going to put a fair amount of pressure on the ball. So you want to put your body weight down on it so that you feel what you could call pain, right? But it's just discomfort, really. You got it? You need some balance for this too. So you want to come down, you want to move down the foot, down that chain at about 1 inch per second. So it's pretty slow. And when you find a spot that really hurts, right? You want to stay there. And we want to release it. There's sort of a knot in the fascia there. And that's what the itis is. It's inflammation, right? It's in the fascia. So fasciitis. So you're going to move down. When you find a spot, you're going to stay there. We can't do it in this video, but for about 2 minutes even, and put as much pressure down on it as you can bear. And you'll find that as time goes by, over that 2-minute period, the pain will start to decrease. Now, so you're releasing that knot slowly. And this is the same technique they use in massage therapy. So they might find a knot in your back and then they press down on it and hold it for a long time. And then the pain subsides over a couple of minutes. And then they've released the knot. It's called trigger point release. So then you're going to continue down and you come back up the same chain, nice and slow. You got to have patience for this. Come back up to the ball of the toe and back down again. You could do that 2 or 3 times. And then you're going to move to the center line. So you go down the center, you're going to find some more triggers in there probably. Especially on this side where you have lower ankle mobility, you probably have more pain in the foot. And that's not a coincidence. Yeah, you come down and when you find a trigger point, which is where it hurts a little bit more than the rest, you want to stay there, take your time, have patience, and put as much weight down on it as you can bear and hold it for a period of time. All right, and then you go to the outside line, the inside line, do the same. So when you come in to do your workout, that's an excellent place to start as what they call your warm-up. I call it movement preparation, movement prep. A lot of people call it that, not just me. So you're getting ready for movement as compared to you're just warming up, where people just jump up on a treadmill or up on a bike or something. This is actually preparing your body and the tissues in your body for the movement that you're going to do in your workout. And you want those tissues not to be tight and knotty as much as possible. And over time, if you continue to do this on a daily or every other day or even 3 or 4 times a week, then you can actually increase your ankle mobility and improve the squat, improve your deadlift, and bring down pain in everyday life too. So this starts with the foot. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to roll the calf. So we just did the ball rolling on the bottom of the foot. Now we're going to move up into the calf muscle, which is right here. It's also attached into your ankle mobility. And we're going to use a foam roller. So you can get these in any sort of sports store, order them online. So here's the technique. You want to get onto the foam roller. You want to do both legs at first. Yeah, and so some people can't put a lot of pressure down at first because it's so tight. I think Dee has some issues there in the calves, right? Pretty tight, yeah? By the way, she has massive muscular calves. And so this it's going to be tight. And if you've been working out your calves a lot, then you're definitely going to feel some pain when you do this. So you're going to roll up and down. People like to break the calf into 2 zones. So they get the bottom zone down towards the Achilles tendon, up halfway, and sort of roll that. And again, it's the same speed. So you want to do about 1 inch per second as you roll through. And you can find little trigger points here where it hurts a little bit more and stay on it and let your body rest down. On a scale from 1 to 10, you want to feel about an 8 for pain and not a 10, right? That might be a little much. So if it's a lot, even with 2 legs here, well, then you can sit your bum down and do it and put a little bit less pressure on there, right? So the second thing would be to do 1 leg at a time. If this isn't enough, if you feel this is smooth and there's nothing here, then you can do 1 leg and put the other leg on top and then pick your bum up off the floor and kind of roll that way. And that's pretty intense, eh? Yeah, same. Yeah, so again, you can break that down into 2 zones and you're looking for those trigger points. So the first technique, you come in the gym, you roll the bottom of the feet and then you roll the calves and then you're gonna do an ankle distraction. So an ankle distraction, we're gonna use a band like this. This is a mobility band and it's attached all the way around like a circle. And we're gonna be distracting the bone in the ankle here, the malleola, this bone that runs across your ankle, down into the compression. So people that have low ankle mobility, a lot of times they have compression in their ankle. So there's not enough space in the ankle for this bone to move out of the way when you're trying to do a squat or raise your foot up or just walk up the stairs. So we're gonna take this band, and we'll get Dee to do it in a second here, and you're gonna wrap it around those 2 knobbly bits on either side of your ankle, and you're gonna walk the foot up. You want the band to be mounted a little bit lower than your foot. That's why I have it risen up on a platform, because you want the bone to be distracted back and down. It's supposed to move back and down out of the way so your foot can come up. So we get this band, wrap it right around that bone, and then you're just gonna lunge forward as far as you can without bringing up the heel. And you might feel it happen, you might not feel very much, but that bone is being distracted back and down into the area that's supposed to clear out of the way for you to be able to move your foot properly. As you can see, I can move my foot ahead pretty far without my heel coming up. So I don't do a lot of this stuff, but you might need to. Dee, you want to give it a try? That's it, she's bringing the foot forward. See, when you can't get enough, she's smushing it forward, using the toes to crawl. That's right, and then she's just trying to get that knee forward, keeping that heel down. You feel anything happening in the bone there?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little click? Yeah? So she has a little compression in the ankle likely, and so this is going to help decompress the ankle. It's really good. I've had clients come in with 1 inch of mobility at the ankle from that assessment that we did. We do the ball rolling on the foot, the calf rolling with the foam roller, and a little ankle distraction, and suddenly their mobility has gone up by 1 inch or 2 just with that one time. Now, the next day, that compression might return. So you want to do this on a daily basis or 2 or 3 times a week at least before your workouts. And that way, when you're doing your squats, you're doing your deadlifts, anything where your ankles have to move, you're at way less risk of injury, pain, and you're going to be able to perform better. Feel good?
Great.
Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to work on that lateral stability piece where you did the step down test. And if you had trouble with that, like most people, then you want to work on the outside or the lateral muscles of your body, your obliques, and even in your legs, so that you can improve upon that and be at lower risk of injury and have better balance. So a side bridge is one thing you can do. I do it obviously during the core aspect of your workout, but you can also do it as a movement prep to engage those muscles and turn them on before you start your workout so that you're not going into lateral flexion all the time while you're trying to do presses or anything like that. So yeah, Dee's really good at these. We'll get you to do the side bridge. So if you go back to a former video, we really go into detail on how to do these side bridges, and there's 3 versions of it. As you know, so if you look at the video, you find a way to do it that's a little bit easier, and then a medium version. Yeah, so you're gonna go from one knee, yeah. That's a cool version, yeah. But right here, she's got the scissor kick, so she's got the top leg over, and she's coming up. You got a neutral spine, neutral neck. And of course, we're working these obliques down here. You feel those, yeah? And that's lateral stability. You wanna go to the other side just to keep it balanced? Now again, if you have pain in your shoulder during this or something, then look at the video from the past where we do primal movements, and you'll see a fishtail movement where you just lift both legs, and that's pretty good too. Nice neutral spine, so straight down the spine and neutral neck, and she's working those obliques on the bottom there, okay? So you're gonna add this into your workout to help with that lateral stability. So we're gonna do a technique now that helps with scapular mobility, so the ability of your shoulder blades to move back and down and into their home position, right? So when you're doing any movement in life or in the gym, you want to make sure that your shoulder blades are able to be neutral. So if you're doing a shoulder press and your shoulders are moving forward, well, that's going to be stability. So we want to make sure we're going to deal with that in A's, T's, Y's, and W's in a minute. But if you can't get them down there, or you didn't pass that test with the arm slide, then you're going to want to do this. It's called the backpack series with the band. So you want to mount it lower, not up high, but about mid-thigh somewhere. So I'm going to grab it here and just fasten it on. You see what I did? About mid-thigh. And then I'm going to put it on, hopefully it's not too slippery, I'm going to put it on like a backpack over the shoulder. There we go. So right away, when I stand up, I'm going to feel that shoulder getting distracted back and down. So I want to make sure that it's not rolled forward, that's actually back and down. And then you try to rest through exhaling and allow the band to do its job and pull that shoulder down into its home position, into a neutral position. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to step forward on the opposite leg from the shoulder that's band, and I'm going to do a hip hinge. So now that shoulder blade is getting distracted back and down. From this position here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look away from the band, and we imagine a clock, and I'm going to look up at 11 o'clock and exhale and let the band breathe down. You getting all this deep? Good, because you're going to be doing this in a second. I'm going to breathe in, I'm going to exhale and look at 9 o'clock. Come back to neutral, breathe in, and then my nose is going to go down to my armpit. I can feel this running right up through my skull here. And allowing that shoulder to rest is really the key. And then at the end, if you want a little bonus, you just gently give it a little extra help here. And so your nose is pointed towards your armpit. And just let that relax. Good. And of course, then you step back and you come out and you'll probably see one shoulder lower than the other. Yeah, so put it on like a backpack. Here you go. Yeah. Okay, and so do you feel, so when you're first here, just get you back there, do you feel that being distracted or is it not loud? Yeah, good. So step forward on the opposite leg. There you go. And now hip hinge back. So you want to keep that neutral. Great, that looks great. Draw those shoulder blades back and just let that try to relax. It takes a little practice to get used to. Great. Now I'll just coach you on this. So you're going to look out. This is the neutral position. She's looking straight out. So she's going to breathe in, exhale, and she's going to look up here. So like at that 1 o'clock, yeah. And again, breathe in, exhale, and let the shoulder be distracted by the band. A little distraction is good in this case, right? Okay, so you do that probably 5 or 6 times. So for today, we'll come back to neutral. Okay, you're gonna breathe in, exhale, and you're gonna look over here at 3 o'clock. And let that shoulder, yeah, you feel that? Right down through all those tissues, yeah. And those tissues love it. But again, you don't wanna go above a 7 or 8 out of 10 for discomfort. You don't wanna be at a 10. And this will grow over time. It takes time. Back to neutral, breathe in, and then nose to armpit on that side. And this should come right up into these scapular erector muscles that go up to your skull. Good, and relax. And you're gonna bring this hand, there's one more, a little bonus here, your nose to armpit. And then you're gonna bring that hand over your head and just gently aid it down a little bit more. And you can tilt your head down like you're nodding, yeah? And allow these, there you go, you feel that? Okay, so we're going to do A's, T's, Y's, and W's now, and this is to help with scapular stability. So if your scapula were winged during the glide test, then you're going to want to incorporate some of this into your movement prep. So an A looks like what? An A looks like this. So you're going to start, here's your resting position. We're going to show you guys it in a standing position first, but as you advance through, you can go to an inclined bench or right to the floor and do this, which is going to add a lot more gravity to it. But some people can't do that at first, so we'll just show you the motions here. You see how this is an A, so there's your A frame. So what she's going to do is from this resting position, turn on the core a little bit. You don't want to overextend your back. You're going to externally rotate. The thumbs go to the back wall and drop those scapula together without overextending here, which right? So really you want to lock that rib cage down to the pelvis in the front. Yeah. And get the mobility from here, not from here. Do you understand what? Yeah, I think you totally did, right? Good, so we're just gonna get those squeezed together, externally rotate, and you're just gonna hold that for a count of 5 or 10. 3, 2, 1. Go back to that rest position, good. Now keep those abs on in the front, stopping you from overextending, and we'll go for one more rotation. You externally rotate, the thumbs go past the pants and they go back. Squeeze these together, flatten them down, and hold it for 3, 2, 1. Much better on not extending your back there, by the way, D. Good. So that's an A. And we'll show you in a second. We'll get you to do it on the floor, and we'll show you what that looks like. But you can start here. And now what does a T look like? Right here. So here's your rest position, palms down. So there we go. Nice abs on in the front to protect that lower spine. So now she's going to lift those hands up off the floor, theoretically. Drop the shoulder blades together and externally rotate at the wrists here without overextending that spine, so that the shoulder blades need to come down, especially this one that's up, and that's not surprising, is it? Yeah. So they need to come down, but the arms stay up. So what a lot of people will do is they try to drop this down and the arms actually come down. You don't want to see your arms moving down, just your shoulder blades. So the shoulder blades come down and together. Yeah, not a pinching in here. And again, if you feel pain or pinching in here, just come out of it and rest and try again. If it's too much, come back tomorrow, try again. And then you go again, squeeze these together, turn those abs on in the front. There you go. 3, 2, 1. See, now that's nice and flat, like it's supposed to be. Good. So you can just take a 2-second rest. Let the blood flow. Good job, by the way, D. Okay, we're going to bring up into, that's A, T. What's a Y look like? Now we got the Y. There we go. So you can see this is like the YMCA here. So don't overextend. So turn those abs on in the front. Okay, good. And now what you're going to do is the scapula are going to move diagonally across the body. So I'll get you to just turn around here. So we want to see these, that arm just move down diagonally across, and that one, it's like a millimeter. It's not a lot of movement. But the first thing you have to do is externally rotate. Don't shrug, and then just drop those together and down. Good. And don't do this. There. So again, our brains are really powerful, and her brain is trying to get mobility from here instead of from here. Now, see how nice and flat that is, guys? Yeah? She's doing really good. So externally rotate and just go bloop. And it might not be a lot of motion, but it's there. There. Feel that? Yes. Yeah. That is really working those rhomboids and those lats to bring the shoulder blade down and together. Good. And just a little rest. So that's a Y. And we've got one more. It's called a W, right? W. Yeah, and we can do it from the front here. So I'll just get you to angle this way. So it starts out in the Y position. So hands come up. You're going to externally rotate, and then your elbows come down to your hips this way. Good. So good. Yeah. Now what she's doing, get you turn to the side. This is great. She's got her hand behind her elbow here. So it's not there. It's back here. Try not to overextend here. So there you go. Turn on those abs in the front. And the shoulder blades are just here. So keep those down. Good. And you hold that position. Feel these muscles? Great. Yeah, good. So then come back up to your Y. If you were on the floor, you'd rest in this position. We're going to do one more Y. Externally rotate. Elbows come down. Hands stay behind the elbows, and the shoulder blades depress. And then again, turn on your abs in the front to not overextend the spine. Okay. Okay, good. And then probably come out the way that you got in. Boom. All right. Huh? Feel the workout there?
That's a workout.
Okay, great. So we'll just show you that on the floor. Externally rotate those hands, drop those shoulder blades up and down, and keep those abs on in the front. So for 4, 3, keep them down, 2, there you go, 1, and then go back to that rest position. We'll do, lift your hands up off the floor, externally rotate, and bring them down and together. Good. Good job not bringing those arms down. We don't want the lats kicking in too much. Good. Nice and flat across here, as compared to that glide assessment where they were winging up. Okay, and then you go to that rest position. Okay, core is on. Pick the hands up off the floor, externally rotate as much as you can, then bring the scapula across your body, just that little movement, just a little bit higher, especially this shoulder here. This is touching your ear. For that one, we're going to do the W. Okay, yeah, drop the shoulder, bring the palms up, turn on the core, externally rotate first, good, and then elbows come down to here, keeping those hands above the elbows, and drop those shoulder blades together, and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, keep those hands up a little bit, 1, and then you can rest. Good job, D. So that's it. When you want to advance it, you go to the floor,
that's what it's going to look like.